Hey, I'm Ritu this side and thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to share with you all my tips and tricks to do napkin decoupage. So if you have never done this before, I'm going to teach you how to decoupage napkin to any MDF or wood. In addition, I'm also going to share my best decoupage secrets with you. Let's understand what all materials we will be needing today. We'll need decoupage napkin, MDF board, decoupage glue, chalk paint or gesso, scissor, brush to apply glue, and sponge. So the first step for decoupage is to prepare your surface. Here I am taking an MDF board. So what you have to do is first paint the surface with gesso or chalk paint, which would act as a primer. Here I am using a chalk paint. You can use gesso also. Take a sponge and dab it with chalk paint or gesso, whatever is available with you. So I have painted it with chalk paint, white chalk paint. Now we'll leave this for drying. Once it is dried fully, we'll go ahead with the second step. Now as you can see, my paint has dried and my board is ready for decoupage. I have painted on the other side also, so it gives a clean look. Now we'll go ahead with the napkin preparation. So this is the napkin we will be working with today. As you all know, napkin has three layers of plies. So the next step is we'll be separating these plies, and for that I'll take a little glue because it is very difficult to, as you can see, it is very difficult to take out separate these plies with hand. So what I'll do, this is a trick you should remember. What I'll do is I'll take a little glue, okay? I'll take a little glue. I'll take it on my fingers, do it like this, okay? Add it to the corner, and then you can easily lift up and peel back those white plies. This is how we separate the layers. This is how we'll separate the layers. We'll be working only with the top layer, the printed layer. If you have any wrinkles or these lines, folding lines on your napkin, you can easily iron it and make it smooth. But please do not use any steam. You can smoothen it only with the dry iron. Now you trim your napkin to the size of the board. This is how it is. So what I'll do is I'll just measure it and trim my napkin. I'll trim a little larger than the size of the board. It's okay if it is not in a very straight line, because anyway we are going to cut the edges later on. I've kept the white layer down so that it is little easier to cut. Now we'll keep this aside and use this portion of it. And this is how it is. Okay. You can place it the way you want. I'll place it like this because I just keep it like this. Now as you can see, we have cut this napkin, separated the two plies which we have it in the napkin. Now if you can see how thin this decoupage napkin is. Now what we'll do next step is we'll apply the glue on the board with the help of the brush. Place your napkin on the board and then smoothen it. Since the napkin is very thin, you have to be very gentle with it. You can also use the cling wrap, which we have it in the house, in the outward direction and do it like this. Okay, once it is dried, then you can cut these extra edges with the help of the scissor like this, or you can sand it with the fine sandpaper or with a nail filer. I prefer using a nail filer. It is much easier to do it with the nail filer. And you can tear out the extra edges. This is how it is. Sand it in the downward direction. Don't sand it in the upward direction, otherwise your paper will tear. This is how it is. So now your board is ready. Little paper tissue is damaged here, which is okay, it is not to be seen. Once we do this step, if you cut the edges, then again you seal it with the glue so that you do not get any scratches and it becomes waterproof. So what we'll do is, once it is dried fully, you take little decoupage glue and give one top coat like this. This will protect the surface from getting damaged. As a beginner, I would advise you that you first go ahead and practice on the flat surface and then later on shift to other materials and the curved surfaces like bottle. In my next video, I'll show you how to do it on a glass bottle. We have lots of bottles lying around in the house, so we can convert trash into treasure. So this is how we do it. Can you see it? How beautifully, once it gets dried, it will look beautiful. See? Can you see it? I'll get it little closer. Yeah? Now as you can see, it is fully dried. It's looking so beautiful. I'm loving it. Anyways, now the next step is to varnish the surface. We varnish the surface so that it becomes waterproof and it can protect the surface from getting damaged. Though we have used decoupage, but I always prefer to give a layer, one coat of varnish too, to give it extra protection. Varnish also gives a very nice finish, a smooth finish, so that your project looks much more beautiful. So this is how it. Once it, you can see a little white thing, but once it gets dried, it becomes clear. So we'll keep this for drying, and then I'll show you the final project. Now the varnish is dried, and this is the final look of the project. You can do the same technique on other surfaces like glass and metal. And thank you for joining me today. I hope you learned the basic of decoupage. And next week I'll come up with another fun project. Till then, happy crafting.